We are getting some first reactions now. Purnima Advani, she's the former chairperson of the National Commission of Women. She's joining us on the phone line from New Delhi. Purnima ji, you've seen the story, you've seen the breaking news on CNN, IBN. Your first reactions, does this impact the case in any way? And do you feel that the time has come to question Tihar jail on the sequence of events that they are giving us?
Yes, my first reaction is that this incident would definitely hamper further trial in this case, because the prime accused is no more, and I feel shocked that in a case which has attracted enormous public outcry, enormous media attention, and in fact the government itself had realized this when it put up the Verma committee to take a quick decision on what should be the steps that the government should take. And before the government can even proceed to implement even a single recommendation of the Verma committee, today the very case which brought out the entire outcry has been seriously jeopardized by the absence of the prime accused in the entire scenario. And I think this is a serious lapse, because irrespective of whether the prime accused was kept solitary in the prison, I'm sure the jails are meant to have such a vigilance and serious watch on every movement of the prisoner. If they don't keep a watch within the jails, where in this world would the watch be kept by the governmental authorities?
Right.
And the very fact that such a serious action like suicide has been committed and the prime accused is no longer there, I think women's movement, women's organizations across the country are going to feel extremely let down with what has happened.
Purnima Advani, if you could ask us to hold on for a second as we put that question to Parikshit Luthra, also joining us live this morning. Purnima Advani still on the phone line. Parikshit, raising some serious questions there of the jail authorities themselves, because as we understand, Ram Singh was one of the main accused, of course, one of the 5 accused, all on suicide watch, so supposedly under the authorities' extra vigilance there.
Absolutely. Tihar has a lot of questions to answer. As far as the Delhi police at this stage is concerned, they are saying it won't really affect their case because Ram Singh had been interrogated thoroughly, the investigation was over, all the forensic evidence has been collected, and the trial is already on. In fact, the witnesses are being examined. But again, he was the prime accused in this case. He was lodged in jail number 3 under constant watch of Tihar officials and also the Tamil Nadu police, which is deployed in Tihar. Now, this is not the first time that a suicide has taken place within the jail premises. Over the years, we have seen them happening whenever prisoners are depressed. They tend to take these steps. So obviously, Tihar hasn't been able to find a foolproof way. In this case, we're learning that he used a piece of cloth to hang himself. So how that piece of cloth came in inside the jail premises is something that the Tihar officials will have to inquire about. They will have to do a thorough inquiry. Whenever such an incident happens, it goes through a post-mortem, and then an inquiry is carried out in which all the officials posted in jail, outside that jail at that point in time, are questioned, and then the jail superintendent submits a report.
All right, do stay on with us. Someone who has worked intensively and extensively on prison reforms in Tihar jail, Kiran Bedi, former IPS officer, now joining us on the phone line. Kiran Bedi, you've seen the news that broke this morning. Ram Singh, one of the main accused in the case, has committed suicide. Your first reactions, who's to blame?
I can't hear you. Can you be a little louder?
Yes, ma'am, I can be a little louder. My question to you is, we've seen the story break early this morning. Ram Singh, one of the main accused in the Delhi gangrape case, has committed suicide inside the high security Tihar jail. Who's to blame?
Well, the inquiry has been ordered. It will reveal what kind of extra precautions the prison was taking, and what has happened despite precautions, if any. I think we should wait for the inquiry.
All right. Are you surprised that this suicide took place inside jail premises? Are you surprised at all? Because it's happened in the past.
No, I'm not surprised, because such accused exceedingly vulnerable to, and they have a very strong propensity towards suicides, because when a prisoner realizes, or inmate realizes that he has very little hope, or rather no hope. In this case, apparently the evidence was so overwhelming against him. The entire prison knew what kind of crime, what kind of heinous crime he had committed. So I think, and the case is going very fast track. And such prisoners basically clutch on to delayed trials. Actually, what delayed trials keeps them going. But a fast track with overwhelming evidence actually plays very heavy on such criminals, because they know the end is not far. The end of the case will not be far. So such persons and the entire prison, the men inside the prison exactly know the crime, and he gets no acceptance even from within the prison. So he is truly an isolated man. Normally, the prison becomes a community for other crimes, where community in the sense that they provide the social feeling amongst. There is a social acceptance of his presence.
No, fair enough.
This crime actually isolates them. There is no social acceptance of the person.
Kiran
In a way, he is doubly isolated.
This is someone Ram Singh had also said that they've been attacked in prison. They want the trial moved out of Delhi. So all very valid points you're bringing out. But one of the big questions now is in terms of how this will impact the trial, but also if he was someone on suicide watch, someone that jail authorities knew was vulnerable, how could something like this then happen? Because you would presume increased vigilance, even including following the reforms you instituted there.
As I said, that the inquiry will reveal what kind of extra vigilance was he under, and what was that extra vigilance containing, whether it was electronic watch on his cell, whether it was a physical attendance to all the time to keep him under watch, whether his own group of inmates were put on watch turn by turn to keep him under watch. What kind of watch was it? So I think that only the inquiry will reveal.
All right, as we wait for that inquiry, already demands for a judicial inquiry, Kiran Bedi. In fact, there are many activists, many lawyers who are already questioning the version that is coming out of Tihar jail. Just to ask you, you've worked extensively in Tihar jail, you've had a long stint there. What do you think could have gone wrong?
Difficult to say right now. I don't want to jump to any conclusion, because the inquiry will reveal whether he was on that extra watch, and then what kind of extra watch was it, and if that kind of extra watch was the right kind. I think that's the key.
All right, Kiran Bedi, I think we'll leave it there for the moment. Thank you though so much for joining us this morning. Purnima Advani is still with us. Kiran Bedi making the point there, Purnima Advani, that we need to wait for this inquiry. I think it's a valid point, a fair point, but does not take away from how serious the questions that are being raised. And in terms of what you were telling us earlier, this is bound to impact the trial.
No, that's a given, that it is bound to impact the trial. The scope of investigation today can at the highest be what were the lapses at the Tihar jail that enabled this prime accused to eliminate himself from the trial. That would be most crucial to determine many factors that are required to be determined. But it does not take away these steam from the result, because the result is that the trial would in fact be impacted, irrespective of whether the Delhi police states that they have already interrogated him. Nonetheless, the entire process of trial has to continue, and that is exactly what the criminal justice system requires. So, I think, whereas on the one hand, we are wanting to speed up the criminal justice system, on the other hand, are our law enforcement machineries, particularly including the prison, well equipped to bear the burden of speeding up? Because this is a case where, given the fact that the government has elections around the corner in 2014 and there was such enormous public outcry on a very serious gender-related issue, the government did put into force a message that yes, there would be fast-tracking of this case, all eyes on it. Let this be one case, one singular example where we can show to the world what fast-tracking really means. The second side of the coin has now emerged, that our prison, I would still like to hold on to what Kiran Bedi says and state that let us await the result of investigation. But nonetheless, we cannot hide away from the fact or blind our eyes from the fact that he is no more, and he was in the jail, and he has been able to eliminate himself from within the precincts of the Tihar jail. These are facts that are known to everyone. Now the question of investigation will be, how did the cloth come in which enabled him to commit suicide? Which officer was present at site? Was the officer there? Was a senior level officer there? I mean, those all points can come out in investigation. But the fact of the matter lies, are our prisons equipped to handle cases where such enormous pressure is bound to act on the mind of the accused, where he knows that his number of days are a given.
All
it's
right.
not that the case is going to take 20 years to culminate at the Supreme Court, as normally these cases take. So these are several questions that are being raised.
Several
and
questions
a new dimension to everything now.
Yes, several questions that the Tihar jail and the Delhi government will have to answer. Purnima Advani, we'll leave it there. Many